Hi, David Odell here. We just arrived at the property development, and here's what we've got. The house just arrived here. It's in the slot. Now I just wanted to show, take a look and see how it fit in the block wall that we put up here, the retaining wall. Let's get some close-ups over here. It looks like on our length here of the wall, we came right to the end. So that's good news. Now as far as the deck, I'm gonna do a patio on the front side here, which is gonna go over the top of that wall, about a 6-inch lift over that wall. This tray is gonna come up, down a little lower because the tires are still on it. It's also gonna slide towards us a bit. Probably, no, not, let's see, let's take a look at the split because it's the seams coming together over here. So I don't think it's really actually coming forward this direction towards us. I think what's going to happen over here, and here's the rear block wall retainer, and you can see that they backed it right into the wall here. It didn't really damage the wall itself or destruct, you know, the integrity of the wall. It just knocked the top block loose. So we're pretty lucky. It's not cracked off the footing, in other words. So this is going to be easy to fix. When I pour the patio, I'll just re-dowel there and pour concrete in those positions, there and there. And then over here, here's the gap. We just pulled the plastic off of the inside of this. You can take a good close look in here what's going on. This is how they arrive. A lot of preparation to do before it's ready to move in. We got to do flooring. We got to tie these two together. That means you got to re-roof a little bit at the top. And so this section of the manufactured home is going to come over here about 4 feet. Oh, see, that's all. It's going to be all open from the kitchen, the living room, and dining. Wide open space. Over here, since we're moving this about 3 feet over, you can see that where the way we cut this dirt, we're gonna have about a 3-foot flat run, you know, beyond the outside edge of this, you know, so where we can put the steps, or we could start to build the deck that's gonna probably come out over this embankment. But anyway, we're gonna hit it with some drone shots, get some nice detail of this whole production. All right, stay tuned. Hi, David Odell here. This video is sponsored by Quote. What they've developed is a program like no other, and what it does is it gives you more time in the field making the money than chasing the money. Because what I mean by that, when you're chasing the money, that means you're going on a lot of bids, trying to find people that can actually afford it, or do they have that much money saved, are they really serious. This particular program embeds in your website. They go on there, the homeowner goes in your website, wants to contact you, they land on this Quote form within the website. They enter their own dimensions in there of the job site, and they customize what they can afford and what they can do. They can add stamp, they can add bands, they can add walls to the job, and if they like the price that the system shoots out to them, they can approve it. So if you're interested in the Quote system, check the link down below and you can enter Odell 50 to get half off. Hi, we're back on the site, and Logan has joined us on the location, and he's with Mojave Homes out of Golden Valley. He's going to talk about a little bit about the specs of this house. So what size, square footage, what's our next steps in assembling it? What do you
well, not a problem, David. We'll start. This is a DVS 2860D. It is a 1,600 square foot home produced by Cavco Durango. It's got a really open split floor plan with a very large living room and kitchen in the center. David, what else are you thinking that you want to do here?
I'm kind of curious of all the steps, because we have 2 halves of this here right now. And what is the final outcome like? Is this in position right now, would you say? This side of the trailer?
This side of the home is in position. This is going to be your heavy half.
This is the heavy side. So that gets set right. It's not going to get moved again, other than elevation maybe. Because I notice the tires are still on it, right?
Correct.
When the tires come off, does that make it go down on the jacks, or does it come up?
It depends on the set. So it depends on the size of jacks that we put under the home. We can go anywhere from 12-inch to 24-inch jacks.
Okay.
Some homes you can get higher jacks. We don't use the larger jacks, but it depends on where the home is set, how much space it's going to be between the brick. So your half on your set, you have walls on 2 of the 4 sides. So we're going to have to basically fill the gap with the vinyl skirting, and then we're going to vinyl the rest of the home where there's no actual cement wall.
On this side here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put probably a 6-inch lift of concrete over the top of this wall, you know, so it'll be a front patio, which will fill, maybe it'll fill this gap, I don't know. What do you think? It will?
Yeah.
Okay. So you won't have to put skirting on this side then?
Not if you're going to put that much of a lift of concrete. I don't believe so.
Okay, cool. Let's go around the other side and take a look at that. Now, how many square feet is this one?
This is 1,600 square feet.
All right. Let's take a look at how we're going to join these and how we're going to slide the light end of the mobile home in. That'll be interesting. Okay, we're joining these. We're going to join these eventually. And this side of the house moves over, right?
Correct. So what you're going to have here is that, like I said, the heavy half is going to stay in one place. Sometimes the set crew might have to make minor adjustments to the alignment, but typically the heavy half stays in one spot. And then they'll take the light half and they basically slide the home over and join them together, get them to align. Once it's aligned,
so this piece, you want this piece to stay there and this piece is moving over to it?
No.
You want it against that wall, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is that the heavy side?
No.
Oh,
so
that's
they put
the heavy side
over here.
Yeah, that's the heavy side.
Oh, you're gonna have some fun.
Oh, really? Oh, that's what makes it. That makes it a little.
That's
little
good. That's
more
good. That's a
challenging.
game changer. It's a game changer.
What makes this a heavy side? And
You're gonna
not a
have
light
your
side?
kitchen, your
Oh, okay.
appliances,
Right.
most of your bathrooms on the heavy
okay.
side. It's where you're gonna have all your actual plumbing, and it consists of a lot more weight than the light half.
Oh, okay. Now, on the joining of these, what comes through it? What locks them together? Once you get them lined up, what actually holds them together?
A large amount of lag bolts and screws.
Okay.
What they do is they drill holes in the roof.
Oh, and they come in from the roof.
And they come in from the roof. They lag it together. It's about 24 inches apart. Am I correct there, Mike?
Yep.
And then once you're done with that, before we go together with the roof caps, we foam in the holes and then cap it over with shingles.
Because there is a little attic. That's where you're accessing to get those lags in.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Nice. Let's take a look at this, how you slide this over. The process of that. Is that a slide plate?
No, that is your Xide 2 tie down. That's one of the parts for it. That's actually what secures the frame into place to prevent it from moving in a heavy windstorm.
Okay.
You're going to see later on in this process, there's going to be a pier on top of the plate, and then the plate's going to secure to the frame. It's a pretty well engineered tie down. It keeps the home in one spot.
Right. That would be good for earthquakes even, probably.
Absolutely.
It's like an earthquake strap.
Very.
Something
Yeah,
like
they call it a hurricane strap, but it does the same thing.
Same thing. Okay, yeah, because there's no earthquakes here, right? Or do you get them?
Once in a while. We
Very
had one
little.
last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How big?
It wasn't that bad. The only way I noticed it was the water in our pool was actually waving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
Yeah, that's fun. That's the time to go surfing in the
That's
pool.
right.
All right, here's where we hook up. Now, if you look under here, this is your in going to your water, right? Right here?
Correct. That is your water inlet.
That's your water
pipe
inlet.
Above that, that's your hot water tank drain.
Overflow or something
Correct.
like that. And underneath, you see that 3-inch? That's your sewer.
Correct.
And since my septic is over there and it's a long run, it's about 30-40 feet, we're not going to have enough slope. We're not going to have that 2% slope to that septic, I don't believe. So we're going to probably just bring it out here and put, what was that thing that you got to put on
A
there?
macerator pump. So it's about a 55-gallon drum. You put it where your septic goes. It'll pump it reasonably uphill into a tank that's less than 50 feet away, and a 2-inch pipe. So it grinds everything and then it just pumps.
So it's a small pipe, small trench.
Correct.
Real simple. Either, I don't know if let's see, we've got 18 inches maybe right there from the bottom of that to the dirt. And if it's Yeah, it's not quite enough slope, I don't think, to naturally drain. Yeah, I could laser level it. I'll break the laser level out later, Jim, if we have slope. Okay, so this whole side is getting skirting, right?
Correct. This is going to be vinyl skirted once it's in place. So they assemble the vinyl skirting with it's got a wood base, and then it connects to the wood trim right below the base of the home here.
Right underneath here, there's something substantial.
Correct. There's a large 2x6.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I feel
right
it.
up under there.
Yeah.
So then the vinyl will hang between two channels. So you're going to have an upper channel and a lower channel. The lower channel is going to be staked into the ground with about 4-inch spikes, and then you just simply slip the vinyl in.
Are they easy to take sections in and out if you wanted to?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so you can get access in any location?
I would say it's easier to get access in a corner than you're going to get access in the middle of it, because you can damage the channel.
Oh, right. So you would just slide it out probably
Correct.
on a corner.
Exactly.
Oh,
you take
okay.
the corner cap off and it starts to slide.
Oh, you can just slide it right, slide on a rail.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. That's easy. Now, because the slope is like this, and this actual house is moving back three or 4 feet, we'll be up on the level ground. So that'll be nice.
So and a lot of the things I want to point out. So on most of our sets, we leave the tongues here with the homes. So what they'll do is they'll unbolt the tongues once the sections are moved.
Yeah.
The tongues will be slipped in slightly under the front of the home. So that those stay. The tires and axles, they go. They get recycled for the next home at the factory. But it's gonna be really interesting. So if you ever do sell the home, or you want to keep the property, the home is movable again.
Oh, nice. That's great. But in order to move one, what would you say the cost is to break it down and then transport it and then reassemble it? What would you say that cost is?
I've done quite a few of them. You're going to be looking within a reasonable, say 25, 30 miles. You're going to be looking between 25 and 50 grand, depending on the amount of work that has to go into it.
Okay, yeah, so that's a pretty good chunk to move a home. All right, but it is less than buying another one, right?
It is. And sometimes you get a deal on properties where you get the home for free and you just want the property, so you get to, you know, if somebody can come and they'll pay that to move the home if you're not interested and you want to develop the property in a different respect.
Nice. What's that little cutout on the insulation for? Do you know?
That is the shower drain.
Oh, okay.
So it's right there. You got the shower window. That's going to be the shower drain for the master bath.
Oh, so that's got to tie into that?
Correct. They run all the plumbing.
Oh, okay. All right. Is there any other tie-ins besides this drop?
You're going to have the tie-ins in the middle of the home, in the kitchen, the far bathroom back there, and then there's going to be tie-ins for the laundry as well.
And it all exit that one location?
Correct. They'll all come down, fall together, and you'll assemble the 3-inch PVC piping, and it'll come out right there by where those tires are.
Take a look at the entrance here. But now you're kind of getting an idea of what's going to happen when it's all done. What about these cabinets and these countertops that are coming in here, Logan?
So
these are Corian, right?
Correct. It's a LG solid surface countertop, which is the same thing as Corian, just a different brand. They're probably one of the most hot selling items when people order homes from Cavco and a lot of other suppliers. The countertops are extremely durable. It's really hard to melt them with a hot pan. It's really hard to scratch them, and if they do scratch, it is something that can be buffed out with the proper type of sanding. It's not like we're going to permanently damage the countertop like what you would have with Formica.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice feature. You just buff it down. You could use it, in other words, you could use it as a cutting board.
Absolutely.
And then buff it out later if you wanted to.
If you wanted to be that crazy, absolutely.
All right. Nice. All right, that was pretty interesting. Here's the house coming together. Also, we're going to show the new electrical line coming across to the pole that I put in. And that was in a previous part of this episode's. This is the land development series. Here's Mojave Electric cutting the old line down. That went to an old steel pole, and I put a wood one in. I think it's about 15 feet above grade, the new pole, if I remember right. And then we got a new 200 amp service. Now all that's left to do, you can see the conduit running over underneath the manufactured home. You just have to pull some wire through there and connect it to the panel in the house, and it's good to go. Anyway, stay tuned for the next part because it's going to be a nice one. Have a good day.